Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Warramai First Nations people, WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energy. Okay, Gabbard is gone. The two main excuses for high-ranking politicians for resigning is family and health. She's managed to combine the two. I keep getting that it's going to be Patel is the one that actually gets fired. A lot of readers had Gabbard being next to go. I didn't have her being fired, but okay, so she was the next to go. I'm not going to read on her because I imagine a lot of viewers, a lot of readers will actually be popping out Gabbard videos today and tomorrow. I want to have a look at a couple of other things. Pouring with rain outside, freezing cold. Nice and snuggly inside. The dogs are, the furs are all asleep after having lunch. I just ran out of time yesterday, so I missed Friday. Do apologise, TGIF, for yesterday. Had a visit from council in regards to the renovations that we're looking at doing. Wanted to do a site visit, so between that and going to Bunnings, our massive hardware store, also known as Hammer Barn if you're a fan of Bluey, to pick up some sealant things for the house because all the drafts are starting to show themselves. It's an old house, which is why we're going to be renovating it. And then after I finish the readings today, I'm going to make a huge pot of homemade vegetable and beef soup. Picked up some sourdough this morning from the local bakery. So yum, yum, yum. Looking forward to that for this evening. Okay, what do I want to have a look at? I've got a few things noted. I've popped over on my post section. So go to maighstirtarot under any video or the pink, hit the pink circle. It'll take you to the main page of the channel and you'll find the post section there. A great video by an Australian investigative journalist called Matt Bevan for the ABC radio. I think he's got a series, or had a series, Russia if you're listening, and I think he's also got China if you're listening. Great, great video. I did listen to it on 1 1/4 speed, so you can speed it up slightly if you want to, but yeah, absolutely brilliant. Plus another couple of little bits and pieces over there. Also, what crossed my field of vision yesterday were a couple of quotes that came forward in regards to AI, and I thought they were really worth sharing because one of them was that AI is data. AI is data and can only look backwards. Human creativity looks forwards. And I love that quote. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. And the second one was that AI is a snapshot of the past being sold as the future. So if you ever feel a need to type that out somewhere or carry those quotes with you, I thought they were really quite poignant in regards to AI and the hype around AI at the moment that is being stirred up by those that have vested interests and are trying to, because it's not profitable, and at the end of the day, it's not the AI that they're trying to force onto us as humans is not necessary either. I do get, in regards to robotic, automated systems to create products, etc. I do get, and I do get with perhaps summarizing a lot of data that comes in, but that's to me is about the extent of it. I don't need something on my phone that tells me what a flower at the florist is. I would ask the florist that. Okay, but what I want to have a look at, a couple of things I want to have a look at is I'm going to have a look at the US DEA has announced that they're going to be opening additional anti-fentanyl offices in Canada. Wonder what the Canadians think of that. Claiming that the Mexican cartels are pouring fentanyl into the US via Canada because of the tightening border security on their Mexican US border down south. The Canadians are going, no, That's there is no uh, cartels having controlling interests in pouring fentanyl across the northern border. So I want to see whether there's something more to that. And speaking of denying, the Orange Idiot came out and claimed that China agreed not to supply Persia with more weaponry, and China have gone, huh? No, we didn't. So, yeah, the usual, the usual. Just really wanted to just touch on the Coast Guards, feeling really sorry for the Coast Guards in an event that should have been the biggest day of their lives so far. The graduates of the Coast Guard Training Academy. The orange felon just stood up there for about an hour and slurred and drooled and waffled like he was at a rally, oogling at the male cadets, and it was just such an embarrassment. And then the actual head of the class, head of the year, who deserved the position because they worked their backside off and both physically and intellectually, was a female. And then he just absolutely degraded her by saying, oh, I suppose I have to invite her up so that she doesn't sue me. Oh, please. Can somebody just please take him away? Okay, but and he's now come out and said he's not attending Sniffy Jr.'s wedding, although apparently they are already married. They got sort of married on in Florida on Thursday. The Bahamas event is just the let's have a party. So he's not attending that. I do not understand why Bettina has attached herself to Sniffy Jr., but we'll just leave that be. Okay, what I want to have a look at though is the anti-fentanyl officers that are right. My guides are telling me to use the mystical manga cards. I've got all my cards ready to go. The anti-fentanyl officers set up in Canada. I do wonder if Thomas Massive, we'll call him that, Thomas Massive, is going to propel himself for going for McConnell's seat. Oh, McConnell. Apparently, he doesn't come up for re-election until November, is it 27? Is what I saw. Feels like that's an off year for some reason. I'm not quite sure. But I Googled it and that's what I got. November 27 is when he comes up for re-election. Fetterman's not until 28. Being senators, but I do wonder if Thomas M is setting himself up for McConnell's Senate position going forward. But I want to have a look at the anti-fentanyl officers that the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, have announced plans to open. One of them is in Vancouver. I don't know if both are in Vancouver, but let's have a look. First, the Canadians are like, what? So why? Why are they doing this? Is it so they can take Carney out? Speaking of Carney, I got the clearest vision last night of Maduro. I went to write it down, but I was half asleep, so I didn't. And I thought, oh, I'll forget that. But no, it's come back to me this morning. And when it comes back to me, that's because, need to share. Maduro with his court case, the ex-president of Venezuela that went in and got snatched apparently, although his bags were packed and the missus came with him. I saw the clearest vision of him standing in like a penthouse suite, or might not have been a penthouse, but it was a pretty luxurious suite up in a high-rise building, looking out a big picture window across the city. I don't know where it was. I didn't see any landmarks. His wife was sitting on a sofa or something, or a chair in the background in the lounge room area, and Maduro himself was sipping from a cup of some sort of tea from a very expensive looking China cup, China plate and saucer, a cup and saucer. So Yeah, I don't know where he's at the moment. But that was the vision they gave me, and they gave it to me again this morning. So don't be surprised if Maduro isn't actually in any prison somewhere. He's just being held captive in a very luxurious suite of apartments. Okay, I'm having a look at the anti-fentanyl officers in China. Okay, so we've got the first card out to signify this flew out is the Seven of Pentacles. It's about looking at other options, looking at what else, what other money sources can be obtained. I think Hogarth calls it the return on investment card. But to me, this is looking at other options. Not yet acting on them, but looking at other options. The challenge is the Nine of Swords, the legal nightmare here. So why does the DEA wanting to set up these offices? I mean, Canada might have a bit of a say about this and say, yeah, no, I don't think so. It's not going to happen, because they don't have the right to do so, I wouldn't have thought. But okay, looking at other options, being challenged by some sort of legal nightmarish situation that's fiery and dark. Oh, I'm really drawn to, I don't know if you can see that there, a monster with its teeth bared in the background. So that's the challenge, is the baring of the teeth in the background. Now, Canadian Mounties sounds very quaint, you know, you sort of think of, okay, the Canadians on their horse. No, they are a police department, a world police department that is absolutely not to be messed with. Now, remembering that Canada, the maple leaf is the red colour. So I suspect this is the Canadians saying, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Okay, the energy that they're stewing in. So why is the DEA doing this? Because they've got treasonous actions, loss, heartbreak, despair, legal stabbing through the heart. Why are the DEA setting this up? This is my betrayal card, one of my betrayal cards, but legally stabbing through the heart. Why is this happening? You've got the Five of Wands in the past, the infighting, and crowning the reading, Canada saying, no way, Jose. The Nine of Wands, guardrail standing and defending. I think this was news to Canada. Tell me about it. Eight of Swords, legally being restricted in the immediate future. Knight of Wands, fiery information being brought forward. King of Wands, so externally fiery information. King of Wands, some sort of announcement being made. Again, a fiery announcement being made and action being taken. You've got the end of the era for the oligarchs. I think I'm going to have to ask more questions on this. And speaking of which, do not believe Bezos. His average tax that he has paid on his income has been less than 1%. He might yabber on about it being, 30% or what. Yeah, no. If you go and actually investigate deep down, I think it's 0.98% tax he actually pays on his reported income, his speculated income. And they get around it with all sorts of loopholes and borrowings from self and all sorts of things. One of our big billionaires from forever ago, or multi-millionaires, a dude in Australia called Kerry Packer, he said if you ever pay more than 4% tax, you should fire your accountant. So, yeah, don't believe him when he says he's paying a lot of tax. No, he's not. Okay, what have we got here? And it is end of an era. Right, Queen of Cups, trying to keep a lid on something, trying to keep a lid on a situation. The Star and the King of Cups. Carney, the Star. This could also just be putting a damper on it, the kibosh on it. Okay, I don't think it's going to go ahead. We've got here the Six of Pentacles, money changing hands, or this could be drug distribution, and the Tower card. I think this was news to Canada, and Canada are going to be, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. But why did they announce this? Is this the regime? Because the regime are flailing badly. Even Gabba has abandoned ship. Was this part of a move to go after Carney? Because they do not like Mark Carney at all. Was this some sort of flaccid attempt? It's the word my guides are giving me, a flaccid attempt to set up a Maduro type attack on Carney. Although Maduro went willingly. Let's have a look. Yeah, it was. Two of Swords. It is a plan that was underway. Thigh deep in the swamp, looking at options of what they can do, just blindly blithering. The word they're giving me is blithering forward. I would have said blindly blundering forward, but they're telling me blindly blithering forward. Okay, whatever. Yeah, it was a strategy and an option they were looking at. The challenge is the Page of Coins. Information being brought forward, documents being brought forward. Let's see where this goes. There's Mark Carney down the bottom. Two of Wands again, yes. Looking, planning it, looking at overseas. I mean, there is nothing more than the regime would like to enforce the Monroe or Monroe Doctrine, which is about the US controlling the entirety of the Americas. Greenland have very much given the middle finger to the US again. The regime has been threatening Canada, Mexico, Cuba is actually the next on the list. But again, a planning situation here, but it's in the past to literally take over their portion of the world. Yeah, it was. So this is in the darkened room, three pentacles coming together and making a plan. I mean, this could also, the energy that they're stewing in, it could be someone in the regime. Now I'm getting it's Carney. They do not like the progressive care. I mean, not everyone's a Carney fan. I'm going to put it out there. And I must admit, I wasn't a Carney fan either. And there are still things he does that I don't necessarily like. But he is there for the people of Canada. And if you want to know about Danielle Smith from Alberta, I pulled cards just privately on her the other day. It never ends well. She's at the moment between a very hard rock and a very hard place. She's damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. So I've read on her a few times going back over the years, and it never ends well for her or for Doug Ford either, despite what he might be trying to do. But yeah, the energy that they're stewing in is that Carney is messing up their plans. They thought when they got rid of Trudeau that they'd have a clean ride to get Poilievre in. But Carney's really messing it up for them. Okay, so you got this crowning over it, this plotting, potentially financial interests, plotting behind the scenes. You've got in the immediate future the Four of Cups, the rejection. So the rejection from what is being offered. I think Canada's just going to say no to these offices being set up. Externally, the magician trying to manipulate the situation. Internally, you've got the judgment card, though, is, eyes fully open to what this is an attempt to do. They're underestimating the Canadian government, the Mounties with their information. There might have been some information that was presented here about this plotting. And therefore there's going to be a rejection. Externally, there is this attempt to manifest something out of nothing, create something out of nothing that is purely a manipulation. But internally, the judgment card is here. Eyes fully open and awake to what this is. Okay, hopes and fears, the Knight of Swords, rash action, bringing forth a harsh truth, the outcome, the Page of Cups, unexpected information out of left field, the Queen of Coins, Homeland Security, and I'm talking about Canada's, and the World card, bringing an end of an era, the Fool, the foolishness of this, that will bring about a new beginning, ending, beginning, uncharted waters, and then you've got the coming together to work together. There's this on the bottom, the Six of Pentacles again, money changing hands. It's one of my vote flipping cards, but I don't feel it is. This is potentially bribery. This is potentially an attempt to make it appear like fentanyl is crossing. But you've got the Eight of Swords, it's not going to work, and then you've got the King of Swords, legal action being brought forward or the strategy being exposed. But Canada's not going to fall for it. They're just not. It's not going to work. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. The setting up of anti-fentanyl officers in Canada under the fake excuse of drugs coming in from the northern border, it's not going to work. And I am getting that it is an attempt to, so watch that space as well. Just be aware, don't be alarmed. Oh, don't you love my little dragonflies up there hanging, and the dragonfly there as well, the new gifts that came through. Just be aware, don't be alarmed, just know that they're going to be foiled, but this is plotting underway. So good to see the rest of the world got their eyes wide open in regards to the modus operandi of this regime. Yeah, they're trying the Maduro thing over and over, and it's like, yeah, no, not going to work. And they're trying it currently with Castro in Cuba. They'll try it with Carney in Canada. No. No, I'm quite happy to say no. Okay, love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.